Hello, my name's Alan Kirby and I'm the artist that's behind the Unfolding Origins project at Selby Abbey. We've produced some kits for you to join in with us because we've been looking at the Abbey as a sculpture made of sculptures, and the kits are going to help us make some sculptures out of origami. There are two sculptures to make, an origami arch and an origami column, and this video will show you exactly how to do it. So the models that we're going to make are by origami designer Paul Jackson. He's been teaching origami design for several decades and uses it to design everything from tables to jewellery. The models that we're going to make will look very complicated, but they're actually rather simple, and they just use two folds. So here's a piece of paper, and the folds that we're going to use are first the valley fold, where we fold the paper like this, and we create a valley, and a mountain fold. We fold the paper like that, and we create a mountain. So in the kit for this Unfolding Origins project, you should find some pieces of paper that look like this, and a packet with some bond folders in, one of which will look like this. And I also like to use a ruler or other straight edge to help me with my folding, and you might also wish to do that if you have one at home. So we're going to start with this one. This is the origami arch. The arch has the dotted lines running along the length of the paper, and we're going to start by doing all our valley folds, and we're going to valley fold along all the black lines. So we're going to make creases along all these black lines. You can do it by hand, by folding over the paper. If you take your time and you're accurate, and by emphasizing the crease using your bone folder. But if you have one, you might like to use a ruler or other straight edge to make your creases. Just place it along the line that you need to fold and run your bone folder underneath the paper gently. Start the crease, fold the paper over, and use your folder again to make a really nice, sharp, firm crease. And now we do the same thing on all the other creases, all the other black lines in both directions, and turn them all into nice, strong valley folds. So I'm almost done now with the valley folds for my arch. This is the last crease. And our valley folds on this side give us a diamond pattern of mountain folds when we turn it over to the other side. So now we're done with our valley folds, it's time to do our mountain folds. To make a mountain fold, you fold the paper back on itself, and it's easier to do this by hand. So gently fold the paper, carefully get your crease. You can use the centres of the crosses, so all the lines should go through the centre of the crosses, and that will help us find our straight line. And then set your crease again using your bone folder. So again, gently fold the paper. I like to start from the centre of the paper and work my way out to the edge. Get the crease as accurate as I can and set it with my bone folder. And I'm going to do that all the way across the paper. So here's the fully folded sheet. Now the printed side is going to be the inside of our arch. So we need to turn over, and all our mountains are going to be valleys, and all our valleys are going to be mountains. So all our diagonal lines, I'm going to remind them that on this side they should be mountains. And when I've done that, we're ready to fold the paper into an arch. Now all the folds we've given the paper are basically instructions, and the paper should now know what it is we want it to do. So if we've given it the right instructions, all we really need to do is gently push the paper together like this, get any mountains that should be sticking up, make sure they do stick up, push the paper together, and it becomes an origami arch. And that's our first model completed. So now we're ready to start our second model, the Origami Column. So this uses the same mountains and valleys and a similar kind of diamond pattern. We're going to valley fold all the black lines again in both directions and mountain fold all the dotted lines, which this time go across the width of the paper. So I've completed all my valleys and all my mountains for the column. And again, we turn it over to show the outside. And I'm just going to remind the paper that these should be mountains on this side. Don't worry too much about the valleys, they should sort themselves out once you've done the mountains. And as I said before, we know that this paper wants to be a column, and you can see it's curling on itself already, much more than the last design did. And you can fold it on itself. It does overlap, like this, and there we have our origami column. So you can use a little bit of sellotape, and if you stick that where the column overlaps, just a little piece at each end, and it should then be perfectly stable and will stand up by itself as a beautiful sculptural origami column. So I hope you've enjoyed making these. These models look really impressive, but they're actually very simple to fold. Also, the paper is plain on the side that becomes the outside of the model, so you can always colour it in before you start if you want to have a decorated column or a decorated arch. So that's it. I'd just like to thank Paul Jackson for his inspiring origami designs, and to Emily, Grace, and everybody at Selby Abbey and Unfolded Origins who've helped with this project. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.